Modena is now out on the field, and they come out. They will be dressed in the white and cardinal with a gold stripe down the side of the pant leg there. You see them getting fired up, and now Paramount trails them shortly, and leading the pack out there is none other than number 12, Leon Neal.
So here comes El Modena, and you really can't look at that 3-6-1 record and say, hey, look, this team's got a losing record. They got no business being here. Now, some people would think that it's playoff time. You don't need to win a lot of games in the Century League to qualify for the playoffs. Let's face it. They have had a couple of big wins, of course, coming over Warren, Santa Ana Valley, Foothill, and the tie was against Loara. But you got to remember, their loss to Villa Park, the Century League champ, was by only 1 point.
Common opponent, as you mentioned, is the Warren Bears. Paramount, we all know, defeated Warren during the season 31-7. That's a deceptive score because, as we know, once as is Ken Such's mode of operation, once they get a lead, a substantial lead at that, the starters come out, and that includes Jack Manu and Leon Neal. There's been a couple against, remember against Roosevelt, they had Manu out 3/4 of the way through the second quarter. Manu was already on the bench. Such yelled, Jack, you're through.
Well, he's had the opportunity to work in a lot of the underclassmen, and of course that'll be good for next year's team as well. But, you know, Paramount comes into this contest tonight, and they're entering the playoffs. They're really focused. They're thinking one thing and one thing only, repeat.
Yes, indeed. Hard not to think about that. I asked Ken Such about that, how he liked this chance of repeating, and he just looked at me and grabbed the microphone and said, let me ask you that question. He turned the tables on me, and it's a tough question. Apparently, he thinks he has the talent if they execute and do things well. He says there's no doubt the players can repeat. It's just a matter if they can put it together week after week. And he includes himself and Coach Monaco as far as not letting the team down. It's going to be up to them, too, to keep things at an upbeat tempo and do the proper things when they scout whoever their opponent's going to be next week.
Of course, a lot of the seniors on this team were around last year. They've got playoff savvy. They know what it takes to win tonight.
As we get ready for the opening kickoff, and of course, Speedy Leon Neal is deep for the Pirates, along with Darryl Floyd, and it goes to Neal at the goal line. Neal going right up the gut, and Neal brought down right at the 20-yard line, be first and 10 for Paramount. Starting offensive backs there, you see for the Paramount Pirates, Jack Manu at quarterback. The tailback, of course, Leon Neal. The fullbacks, we have them in white, as Floyd King, Daniel Godfrey. The reason we have them both out there is because Such says neither one is a starter. They both start, but they rotate it very well. One brings in the next play. Take a look at the receivers, Brad Shubin, Darryl Floyd, Alfonso Bigelow, and we'll take a look at the line right after this play. Kane in the backfield along with Leon Neal, Jackman in at quarterback. To give to Leon Neal on first down. Leon tries the defensive left side and picks up about 3 yards before being brought down. As you take a look at the offensive line, Tawafa Afamata is starting offensive tackle. Of course, Mark Manu at guard, Tony Gomez at center, Mike De La Cruz at the other guard, and Kevin Murphy, the big stud, number 55, at the other tackle. So after a 3-yard gain, or check that, second yard, you'll be 2nd and 8. And the officials look at the clock and they say, hold on a minute. Steve, looks like it's an official's timeout.
Official timeout on the field. They want to make sure they've got everything set and ready to go, and they're ready to go back at it right now.
And we get a shot at Ken Such. Very, very nervous about this one. It's about all of them. The give it to Leon Neal, and Neal on a great fake by Jack Manu. And Neal picks up first down yardage as he crosses the 30 out to about the 33.
Leon Neal is showing that not only is he a great cutback runner, but that tremendous acceleration as well. He just blasted right through there. Not much of a hole, but he made the most out of it and picked up the first down. And the Vanguard's defense, not as big up front. Got Soros, Bogaris, Teague, and Brown, and we'll get the rest of the defense after this play.
Again, the backfield, Floyd Kane, Leon Neal, and of course Jack Manu at quarterback. And the give is to Floyd Kane, and Kane slips and is finally hauled down. Leading him there, of course, is number 32, Kevin Giordano, one of the first players on the scene.
And the defensive line of the Vanguards, we just showed to you, Soros, Teague, and the linebackers. And they're mobile and quick up front. Clore, Greg Brock, Giordano, and Jason Shade. And the secondary, Tim Gray, Adam Garcia, and the free safety, Yuri Shallon.
Yuri Shallon. Of course, Adam Garcia, the cornerback, going both ways. Steve, a number of players on this El Modena ball club are going both ways, and that could spell trouble in the latter part of this ball game. Jack Manu, the quarterback, sets his line and gives to Neal, and Neal dives forward and does on a little dive. Looks like Leon might have picked up about 5 or 6.
Not a bad call in this situation, of course. Now it brings up a third and short. And one thing Paramount likes to do is they like that inside trap. They like running straight up the middle. They like pounding it down the opponent's throat.
Mike Vermillion being credited with the stop on that play. And a good game there for Leon Neal. Bring up 3rd down, 2. Ball just on the other side of the 40-yard line. They have to get to the 43 for a first down. And Manu, you might have a fumble on that, maybe not, but Manu on the quarterback sneak. And it looks like they were waiting for it as the linebackers came up just before the snap of the ball.
And I think we're going to have a measurement. It's pretty close.
Yes.
Well, now they're calling it no, they're not calling it a first down. But there you saw the linebackers shooting the gap and filling the holes like they should do. Clore, Brock, Giordano, Jason Shade. They were up front and they were there to, but unfortunately didn't make the stop for them, and it's 1st and 10 for the Pirates.
Lloyd Kane, of course, in the backfield with Leon Neal. They are the starters today. Leon Neal trying the near sideline. Neal gets the check that. Leon Neal crosses the 45 and run out of bounds right about the 44-yard line. Mike Vermillion again on the stop. Vermillion making a lot of stops so far here to open the ball game.
Well, I don't really know if that's good because that means that he's getting tackled out in the secondary, and you want to stop him, of course, at the line of scrimmage. So right now they're bending, but they haven't broken yet.
So 2nd down, and call it 4, short 4 at that. Manu gives to Kane, and Kane got back to the original line of scrimmage. Might have picked up 1 yard. We'll wait and see where they spot the ball.
Good defensive line surge that time by the Vanguards.
Eric Davis in on the stop, and they picked up about 1 yard. They're going to call it 3rd and 3 now.
And right now the Vanguards playing them for the run. Coach Such would be interesting to see if he mixes it up and puts the ball in the air.
Kent Such, nothing new was put in his game plan for this ball game. They're going to basically do what they've been doing all year. They give to Neal, and Neal stopped after about 1 yard gain, stacked up there, right at midfield. So bring up 4th down, and they're going to credit Gavin Brown with the tackle.
Well, 4th and 2, it could be gambling time, but too early in the ballgame for Ken Such to worry about things like that. Even though, of course, he's now punched the ball into Vanguard territory. I just saw the punting unit go on, and I can expect them to kick.
Villasenor will come into punt for Paramount. Dropping deep, number 2, Adam Garcia for El Modena. High snap, Villasenor puts it up, gets it off a nice kick. Leon Neal, the first man back there, and Garcia picks it up at the 7, and Garcia gets out to the 15. Kind of a gutsy pickup.
It sure was, but then again, if he doesn't catch that ball, it rolls for a stop inside maybe the 2-3 yard line.
And let's go to the field and talk with Steve Gilman. Steve. Check that.
Okay, one of the referees earlier, about a few minutes ago, was saying something to the officials on the sideline. Someone in the crowd has a whistle, and they're concerned about that, and they may be able to find out who it is, hopefully, so that they don't stop the game prematurely. Back to you.
Thank you, Steve Day. I apologize. As I was calling my colleague Steve Gilman, we see Adam Garcia from El Modena breaking it out to the far sideline and picking up a few yards, and was finally chased down by Villasenor and Daniel Godfrey, number 35.
Well, no apology needed, Rich. You're surrounded by Steve tonight.
Yes.
Of course, El Modena will try to keep the ball on the ground as well if they have success with it.
Well, we know the story of Adam Garcia, and of course the quarterback there, number 14, Jose Prado. Garcia was the quarterback for the first 8 games, and they've changed things down. We see The fullback coming through there for a few yards. Greg Brock was the ball carrier. And again, the stop, Rolando Avila. Making a tackle for Paramount. But not before El Modena gets first down yardage, and they have it 1st and 10. Ball at the 26-yard line. Prado following the signals for El Modena. A fake and a give to Garcia, and Garcia tackles for a loss back at the 20-yard line. Good defensive play by Paramount.
At that time, the defensive front line, good penetration, and they were able to get Garcia in the backfield.
Jerome Haywood credited with the stop for the Pirates. And Steve, there's 5:48, 47, 46 to go here in the first quarter, and this is the second drive, or the opening drive actually, for El Modena.
Well, both teams electing to keep it on the ground.
There's a good fake by Prado. Left it fly, and it's dropped, incomplete. Pass was intended for number 45, Graham Brown, and Brown couldn't hold on to it.
Well, Brown has no excuse on that. Wide open in the flat, you got to catch those balls if you want to win playoff games.
So the incomplete pass apparently is going to make a 3rd down and 16. And you see Daniel Godfrey getting some credit for the tackle as well. Prado again, almost a movement from El Modena. And Prado is going to be wrapped up. Yes, indeed he is. Making the stop, Francisco Villasenor.
And Villasenor all over the quarterback there. He had no chance. Of course, he was trying to throw deep along the left sideline, but never had a chance to set up and let that play develop. And it's a punting situation for the Vanguard.
So, 4th and very, very long for El Modena, and of course they will punt. And without the specs up here tonight, we see 4th and 23. It's hard to see who the punter is for El Modena as the kick gets away, but we can sure see Leon Neal picking up the ball at the 44-yard line. Neal working the sidelines and is finally run out of bounds. And it looks like the Pirates are going to have some pretty good field position in which to work, Steve.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. They're going to start around the Vanguard 40-yard line. And Neal not doing a bad job returning that punt. Got about 10 or 12 yards on the return, had nowhere to go, and there really wasn't any coverage for him. Was able to turn up the sideline and get some yardage.
So Paramount basically is going to get the ball back. Actually, when they punted, they were at the 49, and now the ball is at the 44 of El Modena, and Jack Manu and company looking to drive. It's stacked to the strong side to the left, and Manu decides he's going to run, and Jack turning it upfield, and Manu picking up maybe about 13 yards in that play to first down.
And Manu showing why he's maybe the best option quarterback, or certainly one of the best in the LA area, and certainly the best in the San Gabriel Valley League this year. If you notice, the linebackers on that throws. Here we see the replay. If you notice how the penetration from the defense doesn't happen because they're worried about Manu going ahead and putting the ball in the air. So what does Jack do? He tucks it under his arm, heads it straight upfield, and a big pickup in the first down.
Now they stack it strong side to the left, and Manu this time gives it to Leon Neal, and Neal is carrying a host of tacklers, and Neal picks up about 10 or 11, and it looks like they got another first down. Now they're saying a fumble, and El Modena has recovered.
Well, that fumble coming at the tail end of the play. Neal almost down, and unfortunately for the Pirates, the ball stripped from him as he was being gang tackled by 3 or 4 Vanguards. Unfortunate for the Pirates, but certainly don't want to turn the ball over this deep in the offensive end of the field.
And they got to credit Mike Vermillion with the recovery. And things are getting interesting now as El Modena turned back the Pirates twice now. Once on a punt, once on a turn. And the give to Garcia. Adam Garcia gets to the hole and gets tripped. Check that. And apparently, looks like it was Dan Gutierrez, I apologize, was the ball carrier. And he picks up 4 yards, and they're calling it 2nd and 6 now. And El Modena playing with some heart thus far. Votto looking to pass, throws in the flat, has it complete, but not for much. Ron Murrieta on the reception. Brad Shubin making the stop.
Well, Marietta is going to be about a yard shy of the first down. It'll be interesting to see what the Vanguards would like to do here. They like to run the ball up, and of course they like to run laterally and not so much up the middle. So it'll be interesting to see if they go with the old 31 dive or try to run an option from the outside.
Yes, indeed. It's a long one. It looks like almost 2 yards. Third and, we'll call it 2. And big play here for Modena. Again, goes to Garcia. Number 45, that's Floyd Kane, making the tackle in the backfield, and they're going to have to punt.
Floyd Kane making a big defensive play right there. And like I mentioned earlier, they don't have a lot of confidence to go straight up the middle because they're overmatched. The line, the size of the line of scrimmage, they just can't control it, so they're running laterally. And when you run laterally on short down situations, a lot of times, so many people up front, you run the risk of a drop behind the line of scrimmage. That's what happens.
And a very, very tough offensive line. Check that defensive line. Mark Manu, number 71, one of the mainstays in that thing, along with Murphy. And Paramount moved, and of course Modena moved too, but we'll have to see who they caught first. It looked like Paramount might have been offside.
Well, if they were offside, it's not going to give them a first. It'll actually go against the Vanguards. It'll push them back 5 yards, and Leon Neal can move up a little bit. The Pirates should get the ball back in excellent field position once again.
And again, they're going to march it back just a little bit more, and that can make a lot of difference. Leon Neal's now going to be standing right about the 50-yard line.
Still fourth down.
Hear the official as he marks out the 5 yards. Still fourth down. 4th and 8 now. Actually, it looks like it's 4th and 12. The clock is running. And the ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to spot it out of bounds right at midfield, the 50-yard line. And let's go to the field and talk with Steve Day. Steve? Apparently, okay, Steve, back to you.
Talking to school officials, they say against the Linwood game, they were overconfident in that game. They may be thinking that they might be overconfident in this game, talking about Paramount. Of course, they're looking strong defensively. We'll find out how the game goes. Back to you.
And thank you, Steve. Back to live action. Jack Manu rolling out. Manu lets it flop. Off the hands it goes. Attended for Jacobo, and the pass goes incomplete.
And boy, he was wide open. He split the coverage, and the ball looked like it could have been catchable. I'm not sure what happened. It's a little bit too far for us to tell, but I like the way the Pirates are mixing it up, running and passing, playing good Pirate football.
And 2:21 left here in the first quarter play, and Paramount working 2nd and 10. Ball at midfield. Jacobo again, incomplete pass. The give to Leon Neal, and Neal has room, and Neal picks up about 20 quick yards, finally brought down from behind by number 32, Kevin Giordano. And Giordano most likely saved the touchdown, Steve.
Oh, he saved the touchdown without a doubt. Leon Neal with that burst of acceleration straight up the middle. And like we said, he can run north, south, east, west, and he was on his way to the end zone. It wasn't for Giordano's tackle.
And what a great fake by Jack Manu to make that happen. The defense went for him and left wide open Leon Neal to go through the hole. Okay, 1st and 10, ball at the 28-yard line. Jack Manu hands off. And carrying the football, Floyd Kane, number 45. Tackle was made by Ryan Teague, number 50 for Modena.
I think right now, Rich, it's really important that the Pirates get something on the board. They've driven down here now. 3 times they've been in Vanguard territory. You don't want to come up empty-handed all 3 times.
So 2nd down 9 after the 1-yard gain. Manu again hands off to Godfrey. Check that, Leon Neal, and Leon Neal picks up another 1st down. Picking up about 11 yards on that play. They're inside the 20.
And the Pirates just continue to run right at the Vanguards. And they're just overmatched on the line of scrimmage, and they just don't have the capabilities at this point, it seems, to slow down the running attack of the Pirates.
And I'm telling you, if they think things are tough now, and with the guys going both ways, wait till the 4th quarter rolls around and your dog's tired for going both ways most of the game. Paramount has a lot of two-way starters as well. We'll talk more about those guys in just a couple of seconds here. Daniel Godfrey now checking into the ball game for Paramount. Manu looks to throw his first pass, tucks it back in, and goes head-on. Splits a couple of defenders, and Manu gets down to the 10-yard line after a 5-yard gain.
Of course, Manu not by any stretch of the imagination afraid to run with the football. He would just as soon tuck it under his arm, head upfield, and bang some head. Tough competitor.
Number 30, Greg Brock, making the tackle. Actually, it was also a little bit of help there. We see, 38 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Paramount might punch it in. Let's see, the ball spotted at the 10-yard line. 2nd and 5 for the Pirates. Godfrey and Neal in the backfield. And the give goes to Leon Neal. Neal twists, turns, and they're saying no on the goal line. Yes, touchdown. 10-yard run, and long time decided that was going to be 6 or not.
I'll tell you, that was all Leon Neal. Pure determination going into the end zone. He had 2 or 3 guys to beat on the outside and just stretches it out for the 6 points. We'll get a look at that again in just a moment.
And coming up, by the way, Leon Neal's nickname is Muggsy. And he got that by being tough. And we exhibit it right there. We see Villasenor with the extra point. And the kick is no good. And that's Armando. And we just witnessed Leon Neal explode for 10 yards and a touchdown. The extra point by Villasenor was no good. And it brings us to our current 6-0 score with 17 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. And the kickoff. Garcia from the 5-yard line. Garcia head down, and Garcia gets back to the 20-yard line. And El Modena will start 1st and 10. And Steve, you don't think El Modena and these two teams are fired up? Well, I'll tell you, you see some of the blocking out there, some of the man-to-man blocking on the special teams, and they're going at it long after the whistle's been blown.
There was a lot of crashing and smashing going on in that kickoff, and the wedge set up really nicely in front of Garcia and didn't have the acceleration as you would have liked. But right now we got to climb out on the field, so we're going to take another quarter change.
That's the quarter. And we see with no time expired, the end of the first quarter, 6-0 is our score. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Back to our presentation of Continental Game of the Week, and this is the CIF playoff between the San Gabriel Valley League champion Paramount Pirates and the number 3 entry from the Century League, El Modena Vanguard. And the quarter has just changed. It's El Modena's ball, 1st and 10. They're at their own 20-yard line. Jose Prado at quarterback, Garcia in the backfield. There's the play-action fake. Jose Prado will keep it. Prado trying to turn it upfield and is knocked out of bounds. And Prado picking up a few yards. Kevin Murphy, number 55, making the tackle, or making the stop out of bounds.
Once again, the Pirates secondary doing a good job covering those receivers. And nowhere to throw the ball. You got to turn it upfield. And only picked up about 5 yards, but he definitely wanted to pass it there.
Yes, indeed. So 2nd down, a long 5 for El Modena. And if El Modena really wants to make a dent in this ballgame, they're going to have to come back and get something before the intermission. Still a lot of time, just starting the second quarter, but you don't want to get behind against Paramount. The handoff coming towards us. And a nice little run there by Tom Mazzone. And Mazzone's knocked out of bounds finally as he gets across the 35 out to about the 37-yard line.
Of course, Mazzone on the reverse had the Pirate defense fooled on that play. Took the ball, moving laterally towards us, the viewers, and was able to turn it upfield for a 1st down. That's probably been the biggest chunk of yardage they picked up all night.
And Rolando Avila, of course, making the tackle on that last play. And Steve Kenseth likes saying Rolando a lot because he's sure to scream it a lot in practice. No doubt. Dropping back the pass goes Prado. Prado chased out of the pocket. Prado throwing on the run, has to complete, and maybe enough for 1st down yardage as we try to get a look at the receiver on that play. It was number 82, Erie Shallon. Steve Shallon did get a 1st down out of that.
And they're starting to move the chains, something they couldn't do in the first quarter. So the Pirate defense, it's going to be time for them to buckle up and stop them right now because they're approaching midfield.
So 1st down at 10, as you mentioned, and this is best field position for El Modena thus far in the ball game. There's 11 minutes left here in the second quarter. Ball at the 47-yard line. A nice fake. And a give to Adam Garcia. Second Garcia run. Garcia getting down about the 37-yard line deep into Pirate territory. Nice run.
It sure was. And Garcia is showing why he was the leading rusher on the Vanguard team this year, making a good move, cutting it back to the outside. We've got a replay of it right here. Now watch the cutback Garcia makes as he comes up the field here, and he takes it to the outside, straight up the middle, and picks up big chunky yardage and a first down, the third one in a row for the Vanguard.
Some good camera work by our Continental crew tonight. And to give again, we have a flag on the field, which may indicate maybe a face mask or a holding call when they throw it into the line on the carry as we search. And we're going to credit number 1, Tom Mazzone, again with the carry. And where do they spot the ball, Steve?
Well, it looks like this is going to go against the Vanguards.
And it's a holding call.
And you called it right, Rich, a hold. And one thing the Vanguards are doing right now, they have excellent play selection. If you notice, they're running inside, outside, rollouts, passing. They're mixing it up, and they got the Pirates a little on edge. They can't cheat one way or the other, and that's why they've ripped off 3 first downs in a row. Of course, this holding is going to really put them in the hole.
What a contrast to the Pirates, who just run at you, run. And you see how Modena pulling out all the stops now and early. As we mentioned just prior to the start of the second quarter here, they're going to have to get some points this time down if they want to keep it close, because once Paramount smells blood, it's over. First down, and we're going to call it first and 20, actually, on the penalty. Prado again, chased out of the pocket, throws, and we have Adam Garcia with a couple and a beat, and Rolando Avila knocks him out of bounds. And as we mentioned in the pregame, Garcia, very, very dangerous runner, a la Leon Neal.
And Garcia right on the screen, showing that he's not only a great runner, but he's a great receiver as well. And watch number 67 for the Pirates. He gets a one-on-one shot with Garcia, but Garcia just goes ahead and gives him the juke, and that's number 40, excuse me.
That's Jacobo.
And Jacobo faked out of his socks on that play. A big chunky yardage for the Vanguards.
And again, it was first and 20. Now they're looking at second and 5, actually second and 6 from our vantage point. Garcia again. Nice hurdle, and Garcia very, very determined, and they finally stop him out of bounds. Floyd Kane, number 45, kind of making sure Garcia knows he's out of bounds. And nothing dirty about that at all. Kane held him up, made sure he didn't knock down, and let him go under his own power.
And of course, Kane, with good lateral pursuit coming over from his middle linebacker position, read that play and was there for the stop. And it's going to bring up a third and short for the Vanguards. As we look at Ken Such, he knows it's time for the defense to go ahead and buckle down and hold them. Now, last time, Rich, if you remember, they elected to run laterally. But right now, we're going to go down to Steve Day. We've got a quick report.
Coach Kenny Such is worried about the tailback pass. He's also worried about the terrible tackling that's going on during this series. We've got some people, Danny Conference for the 35 players. Both teams are fairly safe, and Alfonso Bigelow, number 22, has got some rib problems. You can't tell by me, but he's got those. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, Steve Day. And again, Steve Day offering some insight from the sidelines.
Of course, Alfonso Bigelow, if he's not able to continue, that would be a blow for the Pirates. He plays both ways. He's a real performer. And getting back to the situation at hand, third and short, of course, the Vanguards, they don't like to run straight at you. It's going to be interesting to see what they elect to do here. Last time they elected to go wide, and of course they were dropped for a 6-yard loss. And now that it's third and short again, it's decision time.
Well, if you're on Modena, the only decision to make is what play you're going to run. They run well with the rollouts, as we've seen, and especially watch out for this play. If they roll out with Garcia, they may pitch it to Garcia. He may roll, but he also may throw on the run. Remember, he's got over 1,100 yards passing on the season, and that was through 8 games before he changed back to tailback. Prado again, this time, gives to the fullback, and the fullback dives forward, and never seen a guy that big jump over the line, but he did a good job at that, and it's a first down for El Modena. Credit number 20, Dan Gutierrez, with the first down run. And
El Modena continues to move the ball on the Pirate defense. That's their 4th first down of this drive, and they are deep in Pirate territory and threatening. So I'll bring up first and 10 now.
Prado looking, lets it fly, and the pass is complete as he gets it off to their big fullback, number 45, Graham Brown. Brown picking up some big yards for Elmo.
Brown, big 6'1", 205-pounder. He's a tough guy to bring down, and you'll see it right here as the Pirates, we don't have a replay of that right now, but Brown showing that he can run with the ball. Not a lot of nifty moves. He just goes straight up the middle. If you're going to bring him down, you better plan on hitting him low and holding on.
Good assessment, 8:54 left here in the second quarter. And El Modena is moving. They have a first down and 10 at their Paramount 15. The pitch to Garcia. Garcia looking for his hole, and Garcia brought down by Javier Villasenor. And Villasenor making a nice tackle, making sure he wasn't going anywhere. Garcia gains 1, and it brings up 2nd and 9.
Of course, Villasenor coming over from his linebacker position, and once again, good lateral pursuit to cut down Garcia before he had a chance to really turn it upfield.
Well, Paramount very strong at just about every position, and linebacking is not one where they got guys going both ways there. Like just for instance, we see Garcia fumbling, and Garcia looking to throw, and he's going to be nailed. Throws it as he goes down, and it's complete. And I don't believe it. Talk about improvising there. And the pass was complete, just for the heck of it, to number 28, Mike Pallett.
I don't know how Garcia had the tenacity to stand there and throw that ball. All he saw was a sea of maroon coming down on top of him, yet he maintained his composure and made a great pass out to the slot.
I don't know if we have that again, but would love to see that.
And we got a timeout by the Vanguard.
Unfortunately, we're not going to have that to show you again, but as you mentioned, you pretty much covered it, Steve. He held on to the last possible second, and it's something else. So we get a look at Ken Such again. Anyway, just the same on that great play, we're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, we'll have the remaining 7:46 of the first half. Continental Cable Systems game of the week, where we have 7:46 to left here in the first half. The Pirates up 6-0, but we have a 3rd and 8 as the ball is at the Pirates' 13-yard line, and El Modena looking very good, even though that last play was sloppy.
Sloppy, that was shades of Sandlot right there. I just think Garcia threw up a little tiny Hail Mary and got lucky, basically, is what happened.
And it doesn't matter how lucky it is that it happened, and as you mentioned, very lucky indeed that didn't fall into the hands of a Pirate. Prado again setting his offense. And the give is to Garcia, and here pass. Throws back as almost a lateral, which it will be considered, but it's an incomplete pass, they're saying. Back to the quarterback, Jose Prado.
And Prado's lucky that it was terrible. He's going to be dropped for a pretty big loss, probably 4 or 5 yards. Pirate defense right there. They weren't fooled much by that play.
It's a very, very disciplined Pirate team. And one thing you got to consider, throw the records out the window in the playoffs. El Modena, a very, very rich tradition in football. Last year again with my semifinals, that's no slouch. And they've won it a couple years prior too. Now we're going to have 25-yard field goal, and the kick is up. And the kick is good. And that's number 3, Greg Lewis for El Modena. And it was a 30-yard field goal.
And I'll tell you, Rich, nailed that one. Okay. Right now, we've got a break in the action, and we'll be right back.
In a week, as we're getting set for the point after, or check that, the kickoff after the field goal, 30-yarder by Greg Lewis. And we have a kickoff again. Leon Neal deep with Darrell Floyd, and Floyd will take it from the 2. Floyd headed for the sidelines, and Floyd runs out of running room, and he's brought down right about the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 for Paramount. Let's go to the field right now, and we're going to talk with Steve Davis again.
Regarding the Paramount defense, number 20 safety Orlando Avila has been instructed in no uncertain terms to watch for the tailback pass and watch that flat, because he's going to be looking for that all night long. Ken Such has said, watch the pass. It's going to happen all night.
And thank you again, Steve Day. And you heard him say we're dedicated on defense to watching the tailbacks. Going to do a little bit of shadowing there. Jack Manu and count the football. And a play action, Leon Neal. Jack Manu throws on 1st down. Rolando and Avila is going to pick up some extra yards on this one. And Avila might have gotten a 1st down. A nice run there.
And credit that 1st down with pure second effort on Avilar's part. And interesting to see the way the Pirates came out throwing the ball. And of course, they've preferred to run it. Although Coach Ken Such, perhaps thinking to himself, well, let's mix it up. Since they're probably cheating too much on the run, let's put the ball in the air a little bit and keep the defense honest.
Avila picking up first down yardage, and it'll be 1st and 10 now. The ball spotted about the 27-yard line. Paramount on the drive. You know, Jackman, who's probably averaging about 8 passes a game, if that. He's had a couple where he's been 5 for 5, 4 for 4, but no need to run a lot. He doesn't always play the full game. Leon Neal fumbles the handoff. It was never good. And look at Manu jump back into the pile. And now there's going to be a rugby scrum here. People still jumping on the pile 5 seconds after the fumble. I mean, come on, let's get in on it.
It's playoff time, Rich. Everyone's hungry, and when you see a ball on the ground, and when you look at the replay right here, not a clean handoff. Not at all. It hits him on the thigh, and Neal not able to get that. A lot of white jerseys around there, but surprisingly, they don't come up with the football. Now, and the Pirates are lucky to maintain possession.
If they let that run a little bit, you see assistant coach from Paramount. Let that run, you'll see guys jumping off the bench there, run on the field, get it on the dog pile there by the ball. Paramount's ball just the same, and it'll be second now in 15 as they lose 5 on the fumbled handout. So now the backfield tandem of Rolando Avila and Leon Neal. Manu hands off to Neal. This time Neal, who's one of the greatest cutback runners I have ever seen, picking up about 8 or 9 yards on that carry. Nice little run by Leon.
And Leon Neal doing it with some good moves in the secondary. And he moves laterally so good. He's just so impressive. Take a look at him right here. He takes the ball straight up the middle, then he starts running east-west. Straight up right there, good acceleration. Now he gets spin around, maintains his composure, takes it back to the outside. What good for a sea of jerseys on top of him, but just a tremendous piece of running.
Back to live action. Manu dropping back. And it looks like it might have been a design quarterback draw. Manu gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage. No gain. Matter of fact, I think he lost a yard or 2 on that speed.
And Manu, of course, he had some receivers downfield, but no chance of that developing. Good pass rush by the Vanguards. And Manu, whether or not he wanted to be a quarterback draw, he had to turn it into one. And unfortunately, it's Savlani that brings up a 4th down and punting situation for the Pirates.
It may not have worked that time. Maybe some more serious adversity affecting Paramount could have happened on that play. However, Jack Manu, once he makes up his mind, he makes it up. Either he's going to go, he's going to stick with it, it doesn't matter. And now he's talking to coach right now, and they're going to straighten it out. In the punt, Villasenor. And a very high snap, and the Vanguards are coming. And Villasenor gave it all he had. And a big play there for the Vanguards. They're going to have the ball in great field position at the 15-yard line of the Pirates.
Well, early in the first quarter on the first punt, they had tremendous penetration, and they just missed blocking the punt. Here you see the same thing again. Good penetration, and it doesn't come from around the ends, it comes straight up the middle. Very high snap. I'm not sure of that player's number, but Villasenor, no fool, he's not going to punt down and have it blocked and go into the end zone for a safety or 6 points. He has to eat the ball, and unfortunately, it's 1st and 10 deep in their own end zone for the Vanguards.
Yeah, it's 1st and 10, as you mentioned, Steve. Prado gets good protection, lets it fly, and the ball's almost picked off. And Gene Shubin, number 83, almost picking off that football.
Shubin gets that pass, Rich. He's got 85 yards of open turf in front of him. And we're looking at 6 points in the other direction. The Vanguards really escape a bullet there.
Check that. That's Brad Shubin, by the way. We called him Gene, but his name is Brad. And Shubin, a good defensive play, just as you mentioned. It's 2nd and 10 now for the Vanguards. In the backfield for Modena with Garcia is number 20, Dan Gutierrez. And Prado, of course, is the quarterback. Only one man out wide to the left. And the give is to Gutierrez, the first man through the hole. And Gutierrez twisting and fighting as he picks up about 4 yards. Kevin Murphy making the stop for Paramount.
And El Medino knocking on the door here with a chance to take the lead. And surprising first half so far, Rich. We're coming down to the 4-minute mark. The Vanguards not only in this game, but on the verge of perhaps taking the lead.
It'll be 3rd down, a short 6. Prado with a little play action, lets it fly over the middle, dangerous territory. Pass is incomplete. If Leon Neal wasn't concentrating so much on the wide receiver, he might have had an interception.
Well, Neal elected to play the receiver rather than the ball. If he plays the ball, he has all the opportunity in the world to cut in front of that and make the big INT. But right now, it's field goal time again for the Vanguards, and they're gonna tee it up this time at about 17. So it's going to be a 27-yard attempt, and we know Lewis has got the leg for that after the first one.
No doubt about it. So 27-yard attempt, and the ball is down, the kick is up, and it's no good. So what should have amounted to a chip shot, as you mentioned, by Greg Lewis, is no good, and the score remains 6-3 in favor of the Pirates. We're going to keep it right here. Again, the action 6-3. Let's recap the scoring for you. Of course, Leon Neal with 17 seconds left in the first quarter of play. 10-yard touchdown run. The extra point by Villasenor was no good. And it was 6-0. And then with 7:36 remaining in the second quarter, a 30 field goal by Greg Lewis made it 6-3, and that's the present score. And we just seen the field goal that they missed. Manu handed off to Leon Neal, and Lightning Neal, as the Orange County Register likes to refer to him as, picks up about 9 yards on first down.
Pirates right now, they got to be thinking ball control. They got to field goal. You know, they want to go ahead and drive the length of the field and go down and go ahead and get some points on the board before
four linebackers. I can talk about that.
Look at the replay. Leon Neal, of course, straight up the middle for a big gain.
Let's go back to live action now. And Jack Manu handing off to Neal, and the action stops, but Leon doesn't. Amazing run. Didn't go for a lot of yards. May have picked up about 12 on it, but just the same. Neal ran into the center of the line, stopped. Everybody stopped, and actually, you know, Leon Neal's popped off and gone again.
Well, the Vanguard defense thinking that, hey, we've got 2 or 3 people have got this guy in their grasp. They must be able to, but Leon Neal says, no way. He just keeps going. And he came very close to breaking that and taking it all the way for 6 points.
First and 10 for the Pirates. Manu with good protection, sets up and throws. Oh, pass is incomplete. And a great catch. We have a penalty on the field, but Alfonso Bigelow, who Steve was just telling us, has a little rib injury. Maybe it affected him, maybe not. We'll see. Here's the call.
Well, Bigelow extended high up in the air and took a pretty good shot. It would have been a great catch if he had held on.
As we await the referee's call. And it's going against the Pirates as Manu and company are starting to walk back.
Okay, that's foul, George. That's first and 15. The eligible man downfield on the red.
Left a little soon, and they call an ineligible receiver downfield, and the penalty now is going to nullify the gain and take the Paramount Pirates back, and it'll be first and 15 now.
Well, of course, if you noticed on that play, Manu had a lot of time, and many times when the quarterback can sit back in the pocket, some of the linemen have a tendency to wander in front of the line of scrimmage. And unfortunately for the Pirates, that's what happened, and it resulted in a penalty.
First and 10 for Paramount. First and 15, that is. And they give to Leon Neal. Neal almost breaks it, and again, he's tripped up before he can really get the thing going.
I'll tell you, Rich, right now the Vanguard defense is playing Russian roulette with Leon Neal, but right now it's going down to Steve Day with a sideline report.
Modena's 4 linebackers are keying on Leon Neal, so he's opening now. They're sending him out in the flat, left and right. He was open in that last series on the right side, and of course he's open on the left side. And they're keying on him full time, so look out for the pass.
Thank you, Steve Day. And we come back upstairs. 2nd and 5 for the Pirates. And Jack Manu gets wrapped up, and I believe he was down before it was fumbled, but they're going to call it a live ball. And Modena, another big turnover. And I'd love to see that again on the replay. I do think Manu was down.
You know, the rule applies at every level, college, pro, and high school. The ground cannot cause a fumble, and that was a very close play. We've got the replay here. We'll take a close look at it. Did the ground cause the fumble? That's what we need to look at here. And he's pulled down, and I couldn't tell. I think it came loose, Rich. I think it came loose before he hit the ground.
Well, it matters not what we think. It's what the officials called, and they're not going to look at this replay camera. So it's first and 10 for Modena. And again, Modena getting a lot of breaks. You got to have some luck to get here, and they're getting them now. They have first and 10 from the Paramount 32. Prado looking to throw, under pressure. And the pass is complete. Nice reception there by Graham Brown, number 45, the fullback out of the flat.
And once again, Prado pressured by the defense of the Pirates. They let the penetration net come in that time. That way they had the opportunity to set something up downfield, and that's exactly what happened. But a chunk of yardage and plenty of time left, 130 as we take. No, we don't have a replay. A minute 30 to go. Vanguards are making things happen.
Second and short 7. The ball's inside the 30-yard line. In motion goes Garcia. Prado rolling out, trying to string out the Pirates. Prado again, we're going to have a slipping on. Afamada was hit in the back. And any gain that was brought is going to be nullified. Number 51, Brian Reynolds, hit number 75, Afamada in the back. Right about it. And he really shouldn't have done it because the quarterback was already by him.
Not only that play originally intended for Garcia, coming out of motion into the flat. But credit the linebacking core of the Pirates. They had him well covered. And, of course, the clip is going to push him way back, and the Pirates will obviously accept that penalty because when you got a guy like Greg Lewis capable of booting a 50-yard field goal, you want to push him as far back as you can, especially with a minute and 11 to go in the half.
Good point you made, Steve. You know, we didn't talk about this, but we did see the ball, the field goal that he missed from 27 yards a few minutes ago. But it had room, and it had distance. It was a pretty kick.
I'll tell you, Rich, we don't have a good angle from up here, but if it missed, it didn't miss by much, and it certainly was far enough because that ball traveled a good 45, 50 yards in the air.
Well, there's a story here left in the first half, 1:11 to go, and it's 6-3 in favor of Paramount, and quite a conference going on there with the Pirates. Afamada in there offering some suggestions. You got Murphy in there saying, no, let's do this, and I don't know.
Personal foul.
Rich, we had a personal foul attached on
Right. Going to be second down.
Second down. 30-yard penalty to me. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails out of it, but right now that's going to bring up a second down in about 40 yards.
So a personal foul, as you mentioned, and then all of a sudden somebody must have said something, and you're right, second and about 45 or so. Actually, second and 40. Garcia again in motion. Very, very dangerous ball player. And Prado gives a little fake and hands off. And a nice run. We see number 21 going, Tom Mazzone, and Mazzone picking up quite a few yards. You might have picked up about 18 on that one.
And interesting about that, Mazzone running to the short side, didn't have a lot of room, but had the savvy to understand that he needs to turn it back towards the middle of the field. And when he did that, caught the Pirates off guard. And as we take a look at the replay, we'll see Mazzone just turns it right upfield. Of course, the Pirates keying on number 2. And not waiting for Mazzone to get the ball. A little bit surprised and gets a good chunk of yardage back.
It's third and about 20, and a timeout is being called by Prado, and the ball at the 43-yard line. I think El Modena wants to make sure they're all on the same page. This is very, very crucial for them, Steve. Not only will they have possession, so it appears, going into halftime, but also they'll have possession coming out at halftime, and again, they're only down 6-3. We're going to take a break in the action with 1 minute, and I checked that, actually just 30 seconds left, and the score is 6-3. We'll be back.
I'm surprised. First, the hands of Stone. Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran are ready to rumble one more time. Duran won the brawl in Montreal, then Sugar crushed the hands of Stone. December 7th, Top Rank presents the rubber match. Leonard, Duran, Breeze.
Coaches are surprised about how this game is going. I was on the other side, and Vanguard coach Fred Gale very, very happy. Let's get back to the play, though, right now.
And thank you, Steve Day. On a 3rd and 20, Prado under a rush, and Garcia nailed by Javier Villasenor. Villasenor read that all the way, did an excellent job of containing Garcia.
And of course, right now, the Pirates electing to take a timeout when you've got so many offensive weapons on the field, like Neal and Manu and Godfrey and White. Get the ball back regardless of how much time you left. Like, they'll get the ball back with probably less than 7, there's going to be probably about 10 seconds to go, and anything can happen. And Manu, of course, with a great arm, capable of putting the ball 40, 50, 60 yards downfield.
No problem.
Something can happen.
I asked Jack Manu last week in practice, Jack, if you could be a defensive player, what would you be? What do you like the most? And believe it or not, he said he'd play cornerback.
Well, I bet you in Division I
Okay, apparently we got another report from Steve Day. Steve, how's it going?
Regarding the field goal situation for El Modena, they can hit from 52 yards out, and Garcia kicked a 52-yarder earlier in their season, so they have the potential capability of kicking a long one. Of course, Lewis kicks the short, which is very good from inside, even though he missed that field goal last time.
17 seconds left in punt formation. El Modena, and deep is Leon Neal for the Pirates. Paramount coming, but the upbacks had 3 of them. Doing a good job blocking, and Leon's just going to watch it roll into the end zone. It does. And not a second too soon, as El Modena players, boy, they really had to get in the air for that one.
Well, El Modena players and the ball racing to the end zone. Unfortunately for the Pirates, the ball won the race. Otherwise, they were looking at starting from their own 1-yard line, and there's not a lot you can do with 99 yards to go in one play.
But just the same, Paramount first and 10 at the 20, and let's all remember Doug Bluth's first game against Downey High School. Had 1 play left, and he heaved it and tossed a nice run there by
91 yards.
Stacy Nolan taking it in fact 91 yards, and nobody would have thrown on that. No way. Manu hands to Neal. Neal's going to go up, and he's going to go down, and that's going to end the first half of play here for Paramount High. This is high school football game of the week, and today's game, of course, is a playoff game. Division III in the CIF Southern Section, featuring San Gabriel League champion Paramount and El Modena, the number 3 entry from the Century League. And let's go ahead and recap the first half scoring for you. Of course, with 17 seconds left in the first quarter, Leon Neal of Paramount, 10-yard touchdown run. Extra point was no good, and it was 6-0 in favor of the Pirates. Then with 7:36 remaining in the second quarter, a 30-yard field goal by Greg Lewis of El Modena brought us up to our present score of 6-3. Steve, it's obviously a lot different ball game than all the prognosticators and everybody else thought it would be tonight.
Well, you know, when you get a ball club that comes to your home field with a 3-6-1 record from a league that everyone will concede is inferior, you don't expect them to hang as tough as they've hung all night. And they've done a really good job. Of course, the key to this game so far has been the big turnovers by the Pirates. Turnovers in areas that really hurt deep in the offensive end.
Well, you know, Steve, one thing that's very, very uncharacteristic of Paramount, they don't turn the ball over. Last year, going into the playoffs, 5 turnovers total, fumbles and interceptions compiled. And this year, of course, going into this ball game tonight, I believe they have 9 or 10 turnovers. And in a game to have 2 in 1 game, very, very uncharacteristic of Paramount. The only other time we saw them have multiple turnovers in a ball game was against Linwood, and that was a game they lost earlier this year. The only game they lost.
Let's hope there's no deja vu there for the Pirates. The Pirates are doing one thing pretty good. They're moving the ball well in between the 20-yard line. When they get down in the offensive end of the field, they've had a couple of sacks and, of course, the 2 big fumbles. And you really can't blame Leon Neal for one of the fumbles. It was just not a good exchange. But on the other one, of course, he was stripped down inside the 10-yard line. And you know that cost them 6 points. So the Pirates not playing pirate football, ball control football the way they
don't think that the Pirates are going to start seeing some panic football by the Pirates. Remember last week's game against Dominguez? The Dons, of course, were upended by Paramount in the last 50 seconds of the ball game, 29-28, and it was a 2-point conversion that Ken Stutz opted to go for. He said, hey, we didn't come here to tie anybody, we came here to win, and that's what we did. It didn't really matter if they won or tied that ball game. And Garcia takes it from the 5. Garcia fakes the reverse, and Garcia finds himself just enough time to pick up about an extra 10 or 12 yards on the return, and Garcia gets out to the 28-yard line. Let's go to the sideline with Steve Day. Steve.
Coach Ken Stutz wouldn't talk with us, but other coaches with the football team told me that during halftime they were saying that they have to blow off the ball quicker, they have to get off the line quicker, and also Leon Neal has to get open for some flare patterns because he's not getting the run. So maybe see some flare patterns, something to Leon Neal left or right.
And again, Steve Day, thank you for that report. And first and 10, Prado at the quarterback, and of course Garcia in at the tailback position. Prado hands off to number 20, Dan Gutierrez, and Gutierrez might have picked up about 2 or 3 yards.
And getting back to what Steve was talking about with Ken Stutz, you know Ken Stutz, a real motivator. I'm sure he is not happy with tonight's performance by the Pirates. And I'm sure he had a stern talk or two with his ball players. but I don't expect him to try to change his game plan that much. I think he is going to try to keep it on the ground. And, of course, right now, the Pirates, they want to stop the Vanguards cold right out of the half, get the ball back, punch it in the end zone, and take control of this game, something they haven't been able to do.
So second down and 8. The ball spotted at about the 29-yard line. And El Modena want to keep things moving, pick up where they left off in the first half. In motion goes Garcia. Prado drops back, looks, lets it fly, and the pass is complete. And it looks like it's complete to number 42, Gavin Brown, or it might have been the tight end Graham. Let's see if we get the number for you.
I believe it was Graham Brown.
Yes, indeed it was. Gavin Brown, and Brown picking up some good yardage, picking up a first down actually, and now they are inside Paramount territory.
Well, when you take a look at the replay right here, the Vanguards, they're not pulling any punches. They're going out, they're going to throw the ball, they're going to attack. They know, although they're in this game, they're still behind it. They need to get on the board again if they're going to win this ball game. And Kevin Brown all alone right there, break down in the secondary of the Pirates.
Garcia takes the short pitch, and Garcia might have picked up 3 yards, as it looks like he might have gotten down to the 46 or possibly the 45-yard line, and still going to bring up second and about 6.
Dan Godfrey really put the hammer on Garcia coming around the right side that time. He was stopped cold, and now with the second and about 6 or 7, it'd be interesting to see whether the Vanguards elect to put it in the air or they're going to keep it on the ground.
And we just had a quick shot of Jack Manu walking the sidelines, loosening up a little bit, getting ready to go back in the ball game when the Pirates get the ball back. There's 9:46 left here in the third quarter. 6-3 to score. Paramount in control, and we have an official timeout. Check that. A timeout charge to El Modena. So obviously El Modena saw something they didn't like, and they're going to go ahead and try to remedy the offensive set. Now every set from here on in, Steve, is definitely crucial. Every drive is crucial. Going down to the field once again was Steve Day. Steve?
The attitudes on both sides of the field are obvious. El Modena has nothing to lose. They feel like they're playing a great ball game, and Paramount feels like these guys are running against us, they're passing against us, and they've got to stop both things, but it seems like they don't know how to. And that's the title of the story right now.
But they really haven't broken. They've given up one long field goal, of course, and right now the Pirates defense, they can't be happy with the way things have been going, because they haven't given up good chunks of yardage. But in terms of keeping the score down, they have done that. So right now, El Modena thinking one thing and one thing only: let's take the lead and get some more points on the board.
A lot tighter ball game in the first half than a lot of people, again, as we mentioned, had suspected. But as we mentioned earlier, throw everything out the window. This is a playoff game. It's a new season now. This is all brand new here, as far as the attitudes go. Prado, a little mix-up in the backfield, gets away, looking, holding on to the ball to the final second. It has it picked off. And ball returned, and making the interception, number 34, Paul Gutierrez. And, of course, Paul Gutierrez, we saw what he did last week against Dominguez, catching a touchdown on one toe.
Well, Gutierrez right there with that interception. A lot of times games are won and lost on pivotal plays like that. And that may be just what the Pirates need to go ahead and turn the momentum on their behalf.
There's a big shot of Murphy, number 55. The tackle, Jack Manu, 1st and 10. Operating from his own 46-yard line. Manu rolls out on a keeper. Manu looks to turn it up, straight arms, and picks up an extra 5 yards on the straight arm, and then for good measure, Daniel Godfrey comes in and just nails number 40, Kevin Bagler.
Well, Jack Manu, if the Pirates win this ball game, of course, a lot of the burden will come on Manu to go ahead and carry the team down to the final minutes of this game. But of course, Manu, no doubt, he's looking to turn that play all the way upfield and doing a really good piece of running at it right there.
So 8:56 left here in the third quarter. Paramount on the move. They are now in Vanguard territory. Ball at about the 47-yard line of El Modena. Manu to meet Leon Neal, and Neal picking up 2 yards on a dive, maybe 3. We'll see where they spot the ball. Be very, very close to the first down marker.
I think he's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. He's going to bring up a 3rd and short, and I don't think there's any secret what the Pirates are going to try to do here. They're going to go straight up the belly of the beast. I would look at him to run right up the middle.
Well, Paramount not shy about running. Of course, if they were going to be shy, they sure didn't show it last week against Dominguez again. A very, very tough Dominguez ball club. Isaac Walker, Bruce Walker, the consensus national All-American, and Jack Manu on the quarterback sneak. And Jack's going to be very, very close to the first down. It depends where they spot it.
Well, if they get a good spot, they will make the first down. It is close. Notice on that play, Manu had nowhere to go on the right side, so being the headsy player that he is, saw a little daylight to the left and just shifted over a step or two, punched it forward, and now is very close to the first down. I think we're going to see the chains come out and measure this one.
And it appears that they will do just that. Jack Manu, again, as I've told you before, and I don't want to sound redundant, but we've seen him several times just here on the Game of the Week, and not an indecisive ball player. For a young man, he makes up his mind and just does what has to be done. And not going to sit there and hedge. He's just going to go ahead and run or throw, and it can't get any closer than that. You can't even get your finger between the marker and the ball.
I don't think Ken Such is the type of guy in this situation to say, I'm not going to go for it. I think you're going to see Ken Such say, we're going to win this game, we're going to do it, we're going to do it on the ground, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him call Manu's number again right up on the QB sneak.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Watch Manu once again on the sneak, and look at Such, bite my nails. Hi, Ken, how you doing? I had a good conversation with Ken last night, talked about a lot of topics, and Ken Such really got his program on track as they try to defend their CIF Division III championship.
Look at the hole up the middle right now.
Full house backfield. They give first down, Paramount. Was there any doubt? The ball was given to number 33, DeMondre White. And that's White's first carry since he broke a bone in his arm and his wrist a few weeks back.
I really think the Vanguards were a little bit thrown off by that. I don't think they had their short yardage defense set. If you notice, they went with a 3-man front and 4 linebackers. That's not what you do when you're having fourth and inches. And of course, the Pirates just with a big opening on the left side and were able to capitalize with a 5-yard gain and a first down.
And we have a player down for Modena, and unfortunately, from this vantage point, we cannot get a number for you. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out of him. We'll have to wait and see. But let's go to Steve Day now. He has a report for us.
I was talking with one of the injured players that's not playing today, and he was saying that the front line of Paramount not blocking the way they usually do. They usually blow out people. They usually get the lanes open for guys like Leon Neal. And what's happening is that just the line is not blocking correctly, and they have no idea of why that's happening.
Thank you, Steve. Again, execution is one of the phrases that Ken Such used all week. If we execute, if we do the things we normally do, and they can stop it. Apparently, according to Steve, there's a few muffed up assignments maybe in there.
Well, you know, there's really no excuse for that either, Rich, because the front line, the Pirates, much bigger than the Vanguard front line, and you would expect, if anything, for them to be controlling the line of scrimmage and opening those holes, because the Pirates love to run those quick trap plays up the middle, and they haven't really run that many of them because the blocking, for some reason or another, has been somewhat deficient tonight for the Pirates.
Yeah, the injured player, Pellet, just getting a hand up, and he's taking a walk off the field. That's number 28, actually, Mike Pellet. And hopefully it's just the wind knocked out of him. Doesn't look like he has a problem with any of the wheels on his feet there, because he walked off pretty much okay under his own power. And we have 1st and 10 now for the Pirates, and they are driving. They're deep inside Modena territory, and Manu on a keeper up the middle. A lot of clubs might think this is odd, but Paramount does a lot of quarterback sneaks on 1st and 2nd down. They don't have any, one of the ways you can't really get a beat on them, know what they're going to do all the time.
Well, when you get a player like Jack Manu, 6'2", 6'1", 205 pounds, strong leg drive, take it straight up the middle, you're going to get 5 yards of pop, so why not do it?
Yes, indeed. Full house backfield, in the backfield for Paramount. And the give is to Neal, and Neal takes it on a dive. Might have picked up 5 or 6, and you don't think these guys are hitting down there. You got another thing coming. Neal's still swinging elbows after the play.
Well, Neal straight up the middle right there. And right now I think Ken Such saying, hey, let's just go ahead and drive this ball right down their throats. And that's what he's doing. He hasn't done anything fancy yet this half. He's just running straight at them. And right now they're getting chunks of yardage. And if the Pirates continue to do what they're doing, they're going to be knocking on the end zone goal line before you know it.
So 3rd down and 4 with 6:30 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and the Pirates driving. Daniel Godfrey now in the backfield with Leon Neal. Jack Manu rolls out, going to the far side. Jack, and again, you won't see Jack Manu if he turns that shoulder upward and goes straight into the defenders.
I think, Rich, we're going to have a clip, though, on the far side of that play. That flag coming way over, away from the play, usually in the vicinity of a clip, and I think it's going to go against the Pirates and push them back.
And you're right, they're talking with some of the captains over there for El Modena and trying to get an idea what they're going to do.
Well, they'll obviously take this because it will negate a first down for Paramount.
Yeah. I believe he like a clip or an illegal block. I didn't really get to see a good indication from the referee, and he'll come back and tell us again. The ball will be back to the 45-yard line. Personal foul, and that's Clippy who called it. And it'll be third down, and they're looking at about 16 yards.
Well, that's a big penalty for the Pirates. It stalls what was looking like a really good drive right now. Now Ken Such, what is he going to do? He has a fine group of receivers that he hasn't really thrown to tonight.
Yes.
Bigelow, Shubin, they're all there. Unfortunately, they just have not been running the option pass, and this seems like a good situation for it right here.
And Paul Gutierrez, another one. We've seen him in the backfield a little bit, but haven't seen him do much in the ways of catching the football. Andre White in the backfield along with Leon Neal, and Manu looking to pass. Lets it fly in the flat to Leon Neal, and Neal, dangerous runner in the open field, and it doesn't matter. It's going to be called back once again, even though he does get a big chunk of yardage. It'll still be shy of a first down, but it's going to come back.
You know what, that crack block or the hole, it wasn't necessary. Leon Neal with a full head of steam heading upfield like that in an open field, he's going to get big yardage. You don't need to go ahead and make a crack block or a clip to spring him loose. He's going to spring himself loose. And that penalty is really going to hurt the Pirates because he's going to push them further back and negate what would be coming up to a 4th and 5. Now they're looking at 3rd and another. Well, they'll mark it from the spot of the infraction.
Exactly.
But certainly mental errors right now playing on the Pirates' lack of offense.
And they'll push it back, and it's a big one. The ball now will be spotted in Paramount territory. Personal foul again. Clipping. And the ball now at the 43-yard line of Paramount. It'll be third and about 29 or 30 yards to go for a first down. The new handoff to Neal, and they'll probably call this one back too. We'll wait and see. No flag this time, as Neal picks up about 10 yards, and it's going to bring a 4th down, about 19 to go.
You know, head coach Ken Such does not like that drive at all. They were executing there. Things were working the way Paramount wants to work them. They were running straight at the vanguards. They were getting big chunks of yardage, and the whole drive killed by a couple of stupid clipping penalties, and of course it's a punting situation now.
The only excuse I could give possibly for if you want to call it lethargic start, or you want to call it the turnover, the lack of good play by Paramount, stuff we're consistently used to seeing, probably because it has a lot to do with the emotional victory last week against Dominguez as well. Not to take nothing away from El Modena, they had an emotional victory last week as well over Foothill. And the ball hits Garcia, flags on the field, and now we'll see who wins the tug of war. They may say that one of the Pirates touched the gentleman making the fair catch, got in his lane possibly, in his face, but we'll see.
We're going to see. You have to give the man returning the ball 2 yards, and I don't think Garcia got 2 yards. The ball, although he was calling for a fair catch, it bounced off his ankle. The Pirates, I believe, pounced on it, but I believe this penalty will negate that turnover.
Yeah, you have to stay, like you say, you have to stay 2 to 3 yards away, and there was a couple of Paramount players in the vicinity, and that looks like what the call is going to be. And if it is, it's a very, very big for El Modena. Very big break. Let's see that again if we have it on replay. We'd like to see that one if we could. And we'll get a better look at this.
Now watch Garcia. He's got his hand up. He's calling for a fair catch, but you got to give the guy 2 yards to catch the ball on a fair catch, or even when he doesn't call a fair catch. And right there,
yes,
number 20.
Looks like Rolando Avila.
Avila does not give him the required distance. The ball bounces off Garcia. It's a live ball, but unfortunately for the Pirates, that is going to result in now they're really stepping off a big chunk of yardage.
And we'd like to thank John Gladfelter and crew there for As Ken Such is talking it over for giving us a good insight into that. I think that's the call.
And interesting enough, they
got interference on the red team.
And that's what happened. The official called it interference. And again, you have to give them some room. They didn't, and it was obvious. And Almadena coming up with a big break.
Well, the Almadena sidelines now on their feet. They're all charged up, and they should be. But right there, the Pirates basically just self-destructed. 40 yards in penalty on that drive. 40 yards.
Fourth and about 35 now, or thereabouts. Villasenor will punt. Gets off a nice kick. Garcia dropping back further and decides this time he's just going to get away from it, and it's going to bounce all the way down inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line, and it'll now be first and 10 for Elmo. They're not much better for field position, but I'm sure they're glad they have the ball now.
That's the main thing. You don't want to give the ball up that deep in the offensive end of the field because it almost always results in points.
So, 4 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the third quarter of play. Paramount up 6-3. Almadena now with the ball. And they'll be first at the 8-yard line.
Almadena really needs they need to get a drive going. They need to get something sustained. To go down to the length of the football field as the referees call a timeout, and I believe this timeout is on the officials. But the Vanguards, they need to really make something happen. They really haven't gelled and put it together offensively. Their only points, of course, coming on a turnover, and they really need to put it all together right here.
Garcia and Gutierrez in the backfield. The give goes to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez gets to the hole, and he gets it out to close to the 15-yard line. About an 8-yard gain. As they move the chains, and they're going to credit him with a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 now for Almadena.
And you can credit center Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Teak with that. They just created a big hole there and gave Garcia plenty of room to take it inside.
Prado pitches to Adam Garcia, and Garcia spinning it, brought down, and we might have a face mask call. I don't see any flags, so looks like Garcia may have gotten first down yardage. Let's see where they spot the ball. It's going to be very, very close. We'll probably see a measurement on this one.
Well, he's close to the first down, and they're going to bring the chains out one more time. As we take a look at Garcia, the workhorse of this offense for the Vanguards, and he's getting his number called often tonight. Here come the chains.
I'm surprised thus far at the stamina of Almadena with the two-way players. They have 6 or 7 going both ways in this ball game, including their skilled position people in Gomez and as we see the spot, they're going to be very close too. It looks like Paramount was previous, about a finger's worth. But we're going to see if they're going to be able to sustain this type of intensity throughout the ball game. We still have about 15 minutes left in this ball game.
Well, funny things happen, Rich, during playoff time, and of course, the really good players have the intestinal fortitude to reach back and able to sustain a good, solid 48-minute performance. And this Vanguard team is certainly capable of doing that, and they're showing a lot of heart right now, hanging tough, 6-3 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Ken Such, you see him on the sideline there again, discussing some strategy. Defensive coordinator Jim Monaco runs the defense on 3rd and an inch. The give is to Gutierrez, and he may not have gotten through. Let's see where they spot it. Very interesting spot now, and they're trying to get a man there to cut him with a stop.
They're going to give it to him.
Credit number 81, Ricky Logo with the tackle. Logo wrapped up Gutierrez around the ankles and just would not let him go. So we can see that one again. You'll see a good defensive effort by number 81 for Paramount, Ricky Logo. And apparently we don't have it, and we're going to continue on 1st and 10 for the Vanguard. Ball at the 20-yard line. The give goes to Garcia. And Garcia almost tripped up, and he's finally brought down behind the line of scrimmage, losing a couple of yards. Nice defensive pursuit there by Paramount, Jerome Haywood. actually, this what really drove people back into the backfield, almost made the tackle, and then Garcia ran into a host of Pirate tacklers on the far side.
And the Paramount defense is really going to have to dig deep right here and stop the Vanguards. They need to get the ball back to the offense. They need to let the offense gel and get something going. But right now, the Vanguards are trying to make something happen. And it's a 2nd and long. It'll be interesting to see if they put the ball in the air deep in their own territory.
2nd and 13, 3-yard loss on the play. And again, the lead goes to Gutierrez. And he doesn't get much. So Gutierrez, we're going to credit him with maybe a yard, maybe not. They're saying he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring a 3rd and 10, Steve.
Well, 3rd and 10, and I really think I would expect Prado on a rollout, perhaps trying to throw to Garcia in the flat. He hasn't had a lot of time throwing, so he really can't go back in the pocket. He's got to be an option-style play. Let's see what happens.
Prado dropping, lets it fly, has a man, gets caught, and it's a foot race now, and Shubin brings him down from behind. Nice catch there by Ron Murrieta, and Murrieta hooking up with Prado for about close to 60-yard gain on the play.
Well, hopefully we'll get a replay and another look at this one, but right here you see Shubin, Prado draws man-for-man coverage, and Shubin simply gets beat. As you watch right here, Shubin spotting the receiver 4 or 5 yards. You can't do that. Look at him wide open. Unfortunately for Shubin, he's able to drag him down from behind and save the touchdown. But right now, they're threatening.
Up on the shirt, and it's all going to be brought back. And let's see what they can call. An eligible receiver downfield once again is the call against El Medina, and they're going to bring it all back. So apparently somebody took off before they were supposed to, and they get nailed again for an eligible man down the field.
Well, that's a big break for the Pirates, obviously. That play stands, and the Vanguard's looking at a 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line, and that, if nothing else, is in the range of Lewis. But right now, we've got Steve Day on the sideline. Steve, what's going on?
Rich and Steve, that was the feared tailback pass where he fakes a little out in the flat and then takes off on a fly pattern. They were, of course, fearing that all night, and of course it's called back because of that penalty. And one comment about that injured player on El Medina, Pallard, he will be back. He's got numbness in the right hand. It's just a muscle pull.
Thank you, Steve. And of course, Al Medina not being able to afford to have players go out, especially with so many two-way starters.
Pallard again. Hopefully it's either a muscle pull or he had a pinched nerve. That's something else that'll make the whole side of your right side or left side go numb in the arm and the shoulder areas. And not a real, career-threatening injury, but it's still a pain. Prado now being chased, lets it fly, and the pass is almost complete. Rolando Avila defending, not letting it happen. Rolando Avila making the stop along with Jerome Haywood, I believe, number 86.
Well, the defense rose to the occasion there when they had to, and Prado very fortunate that ball when it picked off. He really had no chance of completing that pass. He threw into double coverage with 3 defenders right in his face. But right now, the important thing is that they're faced with a punting situation, and Paramount should get the ball back at excellent field position.
I'm very impressed with Prado, number 14 for El Medina. He's a gamer. He stays in there to the last minute. Big gambler. One formation. Avila deep for Paramount. And the ball rolls. Takes a mini Paramount bounce. They picked up maybe 2 or 3 yards on the kick.
Hey, no return needed when you get those ball bounces away like that.
Not a bad kick. It went in the air for about 45 yards. And there's Jack Manu with all the stripes and balls and whatever else they put on the helmets for doing good things in football. And it'll be first and 10 for the Pirates now. The ball at about the 47-yard line.
Well, excellent field position for the Pirates. This is the time where they need to sustain a good drive and punch it in for 6.
All alone in the backfield is Leon Neal. Paramount showing pass. Manu rolling out. He has the option to pass or run. Lets it fly. Wide open. And the pass is caught down about the 20-yard line. Making the reception, Jorge Jacobo. And Jacobo picking up some big yards.
And that play also ends the third quarter, Rich. But interesting on that, Jacobo, of course, splitting the defenders. They ran a receiver long, and then he came underneath and was able to make the reception. But right now, breaking the action. We'll be right back. Back, and I want you to take a look at this replay. Now watch Jacobo. He's going to split the defenders. The defenders are in a zone defense. Manu rolls to his left. He sent the man deep, but well beyond Jacobo, and Jacobo all alone by himself right there. And the Vanguard players need to come back in, but right now it's come back to the live action.
Back to live action. Daniel Godfrey just went around the right side. Might have picked up 9 or 10 yards on that play. We'll have to wait and see where they spotted. And it looks like Godfrey might have got a first down on that one run. We'll have to wait and see. They'll probably measure. No, they're going to say he's about a yard shy, so it's going to be 2nd and 1. The nose of the football is touching the 10-yard line.
This is gut check time for the Pirates. They need to punch it in here, get 6 points, and start taking control of this ball game.
A lot of people wouldn't believe the 6-3 score, but again, it is playoff time. Anything can happen. Anything. Again, to Daniel Godfrey, and Godfrey tripped up, putting his shoulder in the Godfrey as he crosses inside the 10 is Tim Gray, number 49 for El Medina. So what do they credit Godfrey with as they fill the spot? They give Godfrey about, 2 yards on the play.
First and goal to go.
And we're going to bring up 1st and goal now for the Pirates. One thing Paramount could do is they could play ball control. Last week against Dominguez, the final drive to win the ball game took 7 minutes, 31 seconds. Manu threw 1 pass, and it was incomplete, I believe. So check that. It was a completion to Neal that went for some yards. But they'll do it on the ground, and I'm sure they'll keep it on the ground here. 1st and goal from the 7. They give to Godfrey. Godfrey dives ahead, crosses the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Making the stop for El Medina, number 75, Eric Davis.
And of course, Godfrey normally uses a blocking back for Leon Neal, but when you get down this close to the goal line, you want somebody that can really sniff it out, and Godfrey's that type of guy. That's why they gave it to him straight up the middle, and I expect Ken Such to go ahead and keep it on the ground and keep running that inside trap play.
Well, Daniel Godfrey, of course, as we talked earlier, hasn't seen a lot of action in this ball game. In the first half, he saw very little. Second half, they've been more in the ball game, and DeMondre White also in the ball game quite a bit now for the Pirates, and they have a ton of stellar backs. They're all good. Now they have a full house backfield. Rolando Avila, Daniel Godfrey, and of course Leon Neal, and miscommunication there, miscue on the handoff, and Godfrey, the presence of mind to fall on the ball and pick it up. Paramount might have lost a yard.
And Paramount lucky didn't lose more than a yard. They almost lost the football there. Mixed up in the backfield. Once again, a mental mistake, not typifying, just not typical of this Paramount team. With the 2nd and 6, it'd be interesting to see what Coach Such elects to do here. Obviously, he's going to try to get it in the end zone. We'll see what happens. Excuse me, 3rd and 6.
It's 3rd and goal. Nose to the football at the 6-yard line. Full house backfield again. DeMondre White, Leon Neal, and Daniel Godfrey. Who will get the call? And again, it goes to DeMondre White. White starts back, touchdown. DeMondre White comes back after having a broken hand. And you wouldn't be able to tell from that. You see the hand wrap. And DeMondre White is 6.
And take a look at the replay. DeMondre White doesn't have a lot of room on this play. He makes his own hole if you take a look at it. You see he takes it around there's a good shot down on the field shot, turns it upfield, and makes that cutback. And a lot of grappling by Vanguard defenders, but he goes pretty much unmolested into the end zone as the Pirates jump on top 12-3. Here's the extra point.
Villasenor now, who missed the previous extra point in the first quarter, now into attempt another one. It's on the floor. Manu picks it up. The kick is up and good. And with 9:16 left here in the ball game, Paramount goes up on top. 12-3. Check out 13-3.
You ain't seen nothing yet. This fall, we've got the best right here on Sports Channel. Slap shots, face-offs, checks, power plays, breakaways. Don't miss a minute of the NHL live every week. We've got the best NBA action with the Clippers as young superstars are made. Gary Grant and Charles Smith are just waiting to take on the NBA's best. There's thoroughbred racing each night from Santa Anita, plus exclusive live stake races. Only on Sports Channel.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Continental Cable Systems Game of the Week. I'm Rich Estrella along with Steve Gelman and Steve Day roaming the sidelines here. And 13-3 is our score in favor of the Pirates, and a lot tougher ball game, putting up a lot tougher fight than a lot of people thought.
But you got to like the Pirates really asserted himself on that drive. Hey, they saying to themselves, hey, we're the Division III CIF champs. We're not supposed to be losing 6-3 to a 3-6-1 team. And of course, they just bunted in the end zone and got control of things. But the defense seemed to stop El Modena.
And kickoff goes into the end zone, and that's an automatic touchback. And the ball will be out at the 20-yard line. First and 10 for El Modena at the 20. Let's go down to the sidelines and talk with Steve Day. Steve?
Well, obviously, as you can see, the Paramount team has gone back to the basics, running with their fullbacks and using Leon Neal as a blocker. But maybe that'll later on open up the game for Neal. Right now, just back to the basics and using that straight up the field running.
Thanks again, Steve. Good analysis. Yes, indeed, Paramount going back to textbook football, the way they play it. Keep it on the ground. Prado now needs some points, and he's going to go to the air, and he tried to let it fly. I don't know if they're going to say incomplete pass or no pass, or on top of him just the same is number 74, Mike De La Cruz. And De La Cruz, a mainstay on the offensive and defensive line.
Now watch De La Cruz. Watch the penetration. He comes straight up the middle, and De La Cruz pretty much sheds his blocker and puts the heat on Prado, and Prado lucky to get away with that. He almost got sacked. And
they're going to rule an incomplete pass.
And they call an incomplete pass, and we saw a shot at Ken Such. He didn't like that call. He wanted a fumble.
Either a fumble or grounding, and toss him back more. Second and 10, El Modena with the football. Jose Prado, that quarterback, Gutierrez in the backfield. Prado looking, lets it fly over the middle. A nice catch, and it's fumbled by Adam Garcia. And they're saying no reception. Very, very close. If we have that again, we'd like to see that, no doubt.
Well, you got to remember, he's got to get the ball, get possession of the ball, take a step, 2 steps actually, and hold on to it. And it was a judgment call, no doubt about it. But as we see a player down on the field, now watch Garcia right here. He's a shed of light. Prado finds him, gets the ball to him, but just does not hold on to it. It was a good call. It was an incomplete pass.
Very close. Just the same, we have a player down on the field right now with 9:02 left in the ballgame. 13-3 is our score. Now let's start talking hypothetics here. Should El Modena race down the field, get a touchdown, they go for 2. They can conceivably be down by 2 if they convert the two-point conversion to 13-11, which will leave them in field goal range. And also, if they get a touchdown, they're just a field goal away from a touchdown. And as we've seen, Lewis, our score. Now let's start talking hypothetics here. Should El Modena race down the field, get a touchdown, they go for 2. They can conceivably be down by 2 if they convert the two-point conversion to 13-11, which will leave them in field goal range. And also, if they get a touchdown, they're just a field goal away from a touchdown. And as we've seen, Lewis can put it up.
Well, it's certainly everyone's mind right out here in the stands. I guarantee it's on the forefront of Coach Ken Such's mind. He doesn't want to see any lapse in the defense. The defense has played well all night. They've only given up 3 points, and that was when on the big turnover early, in the first half. So right now the Paramount defense just needs to play good defensive, sound, fundamental football and keep the play in front of them. They don't want to let them get behind and give up those big chunky yardage or a big play. They got to keep the ball in front of them. If they do that and they make the Vanguard team burn up the clock, then they're going to win this football game.
And there's a shot of Graham Brown, and Brown walking off the field. Hopefully he just got his bell rung, and he'll be ready to come back. Not in this ball game, some other time, but unfortunately this may be the last game of the year for Graham Brown and the El Modena Vanguard. But there's still plenty of time left, 9:02, and a lot of stranger things have happened, believe me. Third down situation, 3rd and 10. Ball right at the 20-yard line for El Modena. In motion goes Garcia. Corrado looks, lets it fly, has his man, and out of bounds quickly goes Gavin Brown, number 42, and Gavin picking up some big yards for El Medina.
Right there, El Medina flooded the right side. They caught Paramount in his zone defense, and they sent Garcia, El Medino, and the flanker all on the right side. And what happened was the linebackers picked up Garcia, the safeties went for the deep man, and that left, of course, Brown wide open. He was able to pull that in for a first down.
First and 10, ball at the 37.5-yard line. In motion goes Garcia.
Right there.
Prado flushed out of the pocket, and Prado gets it away. Had his shirt tail being tucked on if he let that thing go. And the ball is complete. Pulling down the reception, number 2, Adam Garcia.
I'll tell you, Prado, I don't know how he got rid of that ball. Being dragged down. Fortunately for him, they don't have a tearaway jersey. I mean, he was very fortunate. There was a lot of elasticity in that jersey. Otherwise, he would have went down. But he made the completion. You got to credit him with that, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 3.
In the backfield, they're going with Gutierrez and Garcia. And we see Garcia in motion. The give goes to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez bowls his way forward, and he may have gotten the first down yardage. It all depends where they spot the ball. Helping in on the tackle there, Mike De La Cruz is on the stop.
Well, it looks like he's got the yardage for the first down. They'll bring in the chains, and I believe they'll measure this one. But I think he's got it. And right now, if you're Coach Ken Such, you're a little bit concerned. You don't want to go ahead and let them get a score right here, because if they do, anything can happen down the stretch run. And of course, Paramount with those big turnovers in the first half, that's looming big in their mind. And of course, if they do it again this late in the game, it could end up costing them.
Del Medina picked up the first down yardage, and a good effort there by Gutierrez in getting the first down. First and 10, ball at the Vanguard 47-yard line. Corrado has to let it fly. He's just nailed. Daniel Godfrey had nobody touch him as he came in. And Godfrey's a heck of a linebacker, let me tell you.
Well, right there, Ken Such gambling with the linebacker blitz, and it pays off. He's shooting Godfrey straight up the middle along with the other linebacker. And what happened was there just wasn't enough blockers to keep the linebackers from getting to Fredo, and Fredo dumping that ball off and fortunate to get out of there with his life. I mean, they were just all over him.
So the incomplete pass, so the rush pass by Godfrey, of course, making it incomplete. 2nd and 10 now with 7:28 to go in the ballgame. 13-3 is our score. Paramount in control. The pitch to Garcia, and Garcia picks up about 4 yards as he tries to defend the right side of Paramount.
Well, Garcia tried to get out of bounds right there, Rich, and unfortunately for him, he didn't do it. And that keeps the clock running. And with the 7-minute mark approaching, time begins to loom big as a factor in this ball game, because we all know that if the Vanguard's going to have a chance to win it, they got to score twice.
Clock still running, 6:57, 6:56 to go. Now Medina needing at least 2 scores to get ahead in this ball game. One's got to be a touchdown. Prado exhibiting some good running skills, but he's finally dropped down for a loss. And just being harassed in the backfield now. And what we talked about earlier is the fatigue factor, and it appears the offensive line is starting to look a little bit tired, and therefore the defensive front for Paramount having their way.
Well, good penetration right there, but pretty impressive on that play. If you notice, Prado showing what a great athlete he was. I mean, he shed at least 3 or 4 tacklers on that play and was able to bring it up. But right now, it's a 4th and 8, and the punting situation as the punting unit's on for the Vanguards.
And if you're Coach Bill Backstrom, you really got to be thinking now, you got to pull everything out. All the stops have got to come out right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fake, and now we have one.
And he's got to get it. He's got the yardage, Rich.
Turning on tail goes number 33 for El Medina. Of course, he's their punter, Mike Vermillion. And Vermillion of course, was really playing his heart out in the first quarter. We told his name about the first 6 tackles, Steve, and for really coming up with a big play here.
Well, take a look at this replay right here. Watch the... Okay, I'm sorry we don't have a replay, but the entire left side of the Pirates, nowhere to be found on that play. They did not contain the punter, and let's face it, he wasn't even thinking about punting that football. He was thinking about turning upfield all the way.
He tucked it and took off, and did a good job on it, picking up the first down yardage. First and 10 now for the Vanguards. The ball at the 35-yard line. Prado and Gutierrez in the backfield, along with Adam Garcia. Prado, of course, is the quarterback. Prado jumping back, has a man in his face. Pass goes incomplete. This time for Paramount. Harassing Prado with number 81, Ricky Logo.
Prado right now has virtually no time to set anything up at all. If they're going to pass and get back in the game, they're going to have to do it and roll. When he drops back in the pocket, they're just all over him. He doesn't have a chance to set up and let his receivers develop into their patterns.
5:47 to go, and Modena is still with the football. They must get something out of this drive. They cannot come away empty this late in the ball game. They're down by 10. A lot of time for Prado. And the pass is up high. They're going to call interference against the Pirates.
Well, of course, that's going to loom as a big call, Rich, because that's going to give him a 1st and 10 on the Pirate 26-yard line. And Prado thrown into double coverage, but it pays off because he draws the interference call.
So the draw is still alive for Modena, and it seems to be really interesting had Paramount not got that last touchdown, Steve.
It sure would. Right now, you know, the Paramount team would be, their chances of repeating
Over here.
certainly not looking bad, but certainly they're much concerned at Pirate Stadium. We've got a replay. Let's take a look at this one more time as they move the chains and get ready. I'm not really sure who the defender is on this play, but you see the ball in the air right there, and if we can slow it down, you'll see there is contact before the ball gets to the receiver, and of course the flag goes up in the air. 1st and 10, Vanguards.
Let's fly. Oh, he has the man open and not been able to hang on to it. Number 7, Ron Marietta. And changed their sound, but it'll now be 2nd on the incomplete pass.
Well, Marietta, and that he does have that big play along the sideline that they called back, but you know, excuse right there, that ball hit him right in the numbers, and he simply dropped it. And at this point of the game, it drops like that, I mean, wins and losses.
We all remember, I believe it was tight end. It might have been Pat Donovan or Bill Cosby or Doug Cosby for the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. All alone in the end zone, plenty of time to think, and he drops. So it happens on every level. High school all the way to the pros, and again, not being able to handle the ball, Marietta. Coming right back to Prado to pass. Prado has his man in Garcia, and Garcia not able to spin away from the defensive ball players from Paramount. Godfrey, along with number 40, Jacobo, for Paramount making the stop.
And of course, Garcia wants to turn it upfield and try to get some yardage, but in a situation like this, you got to use the sidelines. You need 2 scores, 5 minutes to go. Watch Garcia on this play. He has a chance to go out of bounds with the ball and stop the clock, but he elects to go ahead and turn it upfield. And his knee hits the ground, and the second the knee hits the ground, the play is over. Watch right here. His knee will hit. Now the play is over. He doesn't take it out of bounds, and the clock runs. And of course, every tick very important for the Vanguards at this point.
So 3rd down, 9 to go. Prado looking, has time. His blockers are being knocked aside. Shubin got in there at the last second, knocking the pass away, number 83. Excellent defensive coverage there by number 83, Brad Shubin.
And Shubin did a very good job of breaking up that play because he was open for a split second. But once again, the penetration by the front 4 of the Pirates, as I believe, get a timeout. The penetration, chasing Prado out of the pocket, not giving him time to think about anything. He's got a running gun, and of course that looms big at this point because he's not getting anything going, and he's on the run so much that he doesn't have time to set up his plays.
So 4:34 left to go. Timeout being called by Modena. 13-3 the score remaining in this ball game. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You'll find the most complete football coverage anywhere. Tomorrow's here, game of the week. and the pageantry of college football's best is here. Led by the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame as they are waking up the echoes from eras past in their quest to repeat as national champions. And follow the Rams inside and out this fall with exclusive interviews, in-depth analysis every week on Rams 89. Sports Channel, our season never ends.
And welcome back to Continental Systems Game of the Week. I'm Rich Estrella along with Steve Gilman and Steve Day. There's the story here from Paramount High School. 4:34 to go, 13-3 the score. And it's 4th and 9 facing the Vanguards. They are right at the 19-yard line of Paramount. And big play here, we see Jose Prado. He tears in the backfield along with Garcia. Garcia in motion. Prado with time. Prado looks, lets it fly, and the pass goes incomplete. And pass was intended for number 45, Graham Brown, and it goes incomplete.
And Rich, I'll tell you right there, Graham Brown was open. Prado threw a little bit behind him. The catch was makeable, but it would have been a tremendously difficult catch. Brown can't bring it in, and that pretty much could be the kiss of death. Certainly the first nail for the Vanguard.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paramount doesn't turn the ball over via a punt or a turnover from this point forward.
Well, there's no surprise what you're going to see Coach Ken Such do right here. He's going to keep it on the ground. He's going to run right at him.
Demondre White, Leon Neal in the backfield. Jack Manu calling the signals, and Manu keeping it going forward and picking up a couple of yards on first down. And as we told you before, Paramount, being that they run so much, will do a lot of unorthodox things like run a quarterback sneak on first down. I'm not sure if that's what they called. Jack was a little concerned. However, he went right for it.
Well, I'll tell you, why risk the extra handoffs? You got a guy like Jack Manu who can punch it up the middle for 5 yards a pop. He's going to get your first down every 2 or 3 plays. Stay with him.
And he likes getting hit, too. That's the fun thing about Manu. Same backfield, White and Neal. The give goes to Neal, and Neal coming to the near side gets tripped up. Don't see many people tackle him one-on-one. And apparently it looks like we have number 42, is it? We're looking at Gavin Brown making a stop on Neal.
This is going to be a big third down play for the Vanguard defense. They have to hold them right here if they're going to get the ball back and try to get it to win this ball game. Right now, I would expect Coach Such to stay with an inside trap, a 31 dive type play straight up the middle. Nothing fancy. Beat up the clock. You're in control. 13-3.
Third and about 4 if you look at the chains. White and Neal still in the backfield. The give goes to Leon Neal. Same exact play. And again, after he gets the first down, but credit number 49, Tim Gray, turning that play inside. Had he got outside of Tim Gray, Steve, he'd have been gone.
And that first down, a big one right now for the Pirates. It keeps the clock running. It keeps the chains moving. And Leon Neal was stopped on that play. Once again, showing his great ability to cut back and turn it upfield. And he made that first down on his own.
First and 10. Ball at the 32-yard line of the Vanguard. And the give goes to Neal. And Neal is on a little dive. And looks like they're going to give him about 5 or 6 on that play, Steve. And they're going to give him 5, so it looks like it's 2nd and 5 now.
And of course the clock playing a big role in this one. 2:14 to go in this ball game. There's no 2-minute warning in high school. It will continue to run unless the Vanguards decide to utilize 2 of their timeouts that they have left.
I knew again, following the block of Demondre White, gets the first down and ensures the Pirates 4 more downs.
And that should pretty much wrap it up, Rich. Right now, a minute 53 left. The Vanguards use the timeout. And with 4 go, we have to start talking about our player of the game with 4 plays to go. A minute 50 and counting. I guess they didn't utilize the timeout. And there's a couple of different players we can look at. There's Leon Neal, of course, Jack Manu. I don't think anybody really stands out tonight. This is just a good all-around Pirate effort.
135, 134 to go. 13-3 the score. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Manu again, up the middle. Let's be penetrated. Went right through all the lines. Trying an 8-yard quarterback sneak. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. They're gonna bring it back. Actually, a 6-yard gain.
He's a banger. He loves going straight up the middle and banging heads.
He's hitting people. If he had his way, he'd be going both ways. We don't need that. We don't have to do that. Whatever you want. He's a team player.
And Rich, we got less than a minute to go in this ball game right now.
White and Neal. Looks like they're going to finish up the ball game here. The handoff to Leon Neal, and look at Leon. Neal gets out to the 35-yard line, picking up about 15 yards on just a little dive play with 46 seconds to go.
And right there, Rich, what you see on the field is really fatigue. The defense of the Vanguard's been out there a long time. All the two-way players. There's some really tired people out there, and that was pretty evident in that play because they were grappling at Leon Neal, and of course he just went straight ahead for more first down yardage. And with 46 ticks left on the clock, Paramount, of course, has this one pretty much in the bag. Well, Rich, player of the game. Any ideas?
Man. Well, Leon Neal's looked good. Jack Manu, of course, has run things well, even though he had a couple of turnovers. Didn't get rattled, and look at him there again. Just keep handing off, and things looking good.
Willis Knorr played well on defense tonight.
Yes, indeed. I'm not against giving it to the whole team tonight because it was definitely a group effort, especially after all the turnovers. The way the defense really just held tight, not letting the Vanguards in the end zone. Maybe the defensive unit tonight can all take part in that trophy.
Well, Rich, that was the last play of the game. We've got 3 seconds to go.
And ladies and gentlemen, from Paramount High, that's going to do it. The home team round of the CIF playoffs. I'm Richard Strand along with Steve Gilman and Steve Day. And right now, let's go to the field with Steve Day for the player of the game.
Final score 13-3 Paramount, and Coach Ken Such, the flow of the ball game. You had some trouble with El Modena, and tell us about how you felt about the ball game.
Well, El Modena was real tough. We had a lot more trouble with ourselves. We made some silly mistakes, and we were making some bad decisions, but we were lucky enough to get away with it.
Well, Rich Estrella and Steve Gilman and I had some problems figuring out who was going to be the player of the ball game, and we have given it to the defensive front four for you. Introduce them, please.
Okay, Mike Dela Cruz is in the locker room. You had to see the trainer. 75, Tofa Afamada, 67, Junior Gabby Ramirez, and team captain Kevin Murphy, 55. Congratulations, you guys.
Okay, Coach Ken Such, I'm going to give you the trophy, and you can give it to the front line. Congratulations, 13-3 the final, and we got the player of the ball games, the front line, the defensive front line for Paramount. Congratulations, guys. Back up to you.
Deservedly so, player of the game, and Steve, he wasn't far off. We had a tough time calling a player of the game tonight.
And that's a good choice because this was a defensive struggle all night long. It should have been a shutout if it wasn't for the turnover, and the defensive front four, especially of the Pirates, should be especially happy with the way they played tonight because they really controlled the line of scrimmage and never allowed the Vanguards to get their offense moving.
Recapping the scoring real brief, of course, with 17 seconds left in the first quarter, Leon Neal, 10-yard touchdown run. The extra point was no good, 6-0 Paramount. Then with 7:36 left in the second period, a 30-yard field goal by Greg Lewis of El Modena, making it 6-3. And then with 9:16 left, Demondre White making the first appearance in a couple of weeks after suffering a broken bone in the hand. 6-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, bringing us to the final, 13-3 in favor of Paramount. And now, Steve, the only thing we have to wait now is who are they going to face? Are they going to face Hart next week? Or are they going to face Dana Hills, I believe?
Two really good teams. Hart, of course, being the better. Interesting thing here in CIF, if Dana Hills wins, because it's an at-large team, the game will be played at Dana Hills' home stadium. However, if Hart wins, we'll have a coin toss. We could be right back here next Friday night after Thanksgiving for more Pirate football. Otherwise, we'll be going to possibly Hart. But either way, the Pirates have got to be happy. A win is a win. It wasn't pretty. But when you're CIF Division III champs and you're going for a repeat, you know, you'll take it any way you can get it. You know, Coach Such, happy, although not ecstatic about tonight's performance.
And would like to go ahead and thank our sponsors at this time. Of course, Adds Floor Coverings, serving the Mid-Cities area with the finest in floor and window coverings since 1945. Your local Armstrong Floor Fashion Center. Also sponsored in part by the Sports Channel, who sponsored tonight's player of the game. Would also like to thank the Paramount High School Boosters Club, sponsored tonight's football game.